What's going on? You are tuned into Kick 'em Pick'em Gambling Show brought to you by TwoFootTalk. I am your host. They call me Young Leg. With me, Mr. Nick Dianni. What's going on, Nick?
Not much, brother. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy to be here.
Happy New Year. I work in retail still, so I had to say Happy New Year. Apparently, the statute of limitations for how long you say Happy New Year, it's only a week, so we're good now.
Okay, we're fair. Yeah, I always figured it was like
it's a New Year, though. Make sure you still say it, but if you're like me and have to repeat it after like every transaction, we're good.
Fair enough. I was going to say, if you know somebody, it's the first time you see them, right? Like that's the rule.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking to the rule book on that one.
Do my best.
We got no Oaks tonight. Major surgery for Oaks. He's fixing his mouth. That's his moneymaker. That's, you guys have heard Oaks talk. That's just the golden generational voice there. So he's got to take care of that. Animo Oaks. So also, if you haven't looked at the slate yet, if you're like me and you wait till Wednesday to look at the slate, it's really disappointing if you thought that EPL was coming back when every other league was coming back, because we have a very weak Spanish slate with like the top 4 teams playing in Saudi Arabia at the moment. Italy and Germany is going to be doing a lot of backpacking here because the FA Cup, I had to make a whole new bit for this show with Nick, and this is pretty much going to be the Paisan show where I let everyone know that my last name ends in an A and my first name's Anthony, but I'm not Italian. I'll ride with it. And we got Nick here to really hold us down. Nick, thank you.
Do my best, man.
Yeah, you got to do your best Oaks impression, so keep that in mind. All right, anything to get off your chest for the new year? I have not I'm 50-50 how I've started this new year because I'm hitting a couple of these who fucks us up parlays, which has really been saving me because a lot of other shit's let me down. Like Liverpool, what are we doing in 2025?
Yeah, rough one for them today. No, you've been crushing, and I really enjoy tailing when I can. So in Florida, I don't get the shot market for every single league or every single tournament. It really depends. They feel some type of way, I guess, on whose lines they're copying on that particular day or week. So when I've been able to tail, I have been. It's been a lot of fun. I like when you say who fucks it up because like it's always, I think I'm like 3 out of 4 identifying who actually has fucked it up. So I feel pretty good about that, even though the first one I got dead wrong. But no, I definitely have some fuck yous. Liverpool, I thought there was going to be way more goals in today's game, but
damn,
I didn't realize it was 2-legged. So if I knew that, I probably would have proceeded with a little more caution. I did catch a live goal at the 80th minute. So like made it back. Wasn't too upset about that. Definite fuck you goes to Arsenal because I thought both teams to score yesterday's game was absolutely the freest money possible. It was sitting at -120 for Arsenal and Newcastle, and they did everything they could to not score. Like it just, I don't know. I saw
right there with you because I took both teams to score over 2.5. So I was like, word, Newcastle money line. Was I trolling a little bit last week? Maybe, but also they're the most electric team in England, and I will continue to take their overs. Arsenal, double fuck you for not getting us at least 1.
100%.
That's all we wanted.
100%. But Cash Isak first half goal plus 450. So I was definitely happy about that. Made up for it, but really would have loved the double cash or triple cash actually in that game. I like to be greedy. And then conversely, the fuck you today goes to everybody in Barcelona game, especially the Williams brothers, because I was kind of checking it out and like remember all the hype around them last summer. And obviously, if you watch La Liga, which you do and Oaks does, they've been getting a lot of hype lately. What the fuck are those guys doing this year? Have they even scored a goal between them? I saw Naki got one chalked off today. I did have the over. So fuck you goes out to him specifically because he couldn't stay onside.
The fun part about the Williams brothers is they really are electric to watch. But as far as like the final piece, which is finishing, to put it politely, there's still a reason why they're on Bilbao.
Right. There you go. And that's exactly it, dude. And I'm not going to get into a whole big monologue here, but we really need to have a discussion on how we rate players in the new social media, YouTube generation of, oh, is he fast? Can he dribble? Awesome. Those are great traits that you can't really teach somebody. You either have it or you don't. But that does not make you world-class, generational, all-star type player. Like at the end of the day, I want Mo Salah, who is a winger, quote unquote, but has a goal contribution every single game. Like that's kind of how I'm going to judge you for better or worse. Messi and Ronaldo maybe ruined the game from that standpoint, but give me 32 Mo Salahs before you give me Williams brothers or a Liao or somebody like that.
It's kind of like when you look at, I don't know, Manchester United's last 5 striker choices that they made where like, well, he did it this one time. You remember this? Like they'll look at one highlight clip. That's why you end up with a Hoyland or you end up with a Xerxes. I was really hoping that Arsenal was like, oh yes, Nico Williams. Let's blow 80 million on this guy. This will be the savior for us. When in reality, he's kind of like a Spanish Martinelli. I love Nico Williams and I rate him, and I still think he could take another step and be one of the elite players. He's just not right now, though. You're spot on with that. And again, problem with the Williams brothers. Again, Inaki Williams is a La Liga legend, but as far as finishing, there's a reason why Spain didn't call him up. There's a reason why Morata is somehow wearing an armband for Spain, but they didn't want to take a chance on Inaki Williams. So just keeping it up there.
So those are my fuck yous.
Okay. Oh, not Lazio got a nice little Friday game. Lazio's actually on my fuck yous list. Now,
they deserve it.
I won't lie to you. I'm going to have to ask a couple hard questions to Nick later on when we talk Italian football. But I took cards and I took both teams to score in that Rome derby.
Crush cards.
Both teams to score didn't hit. I'm very happy with my cards decision because the line was like 4.5, and I think there was 9, which I saw that shit coming. It's the Roman derby. I know how much these teams don't like each other. It was just a case of if the ref was going to be a bitch. It's the fact that Lazio couldn't get me 1. And correct me if I'm wrong. Were they at home?
No. Well, I mean, in their home stadium, but not the home team.
Okay. I forgot. Oh, yeah. They're like Milan where that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Definitely a tough one.
Seats or anything for that?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
My high school team used to do that. We had like an east and a west. And if you're home, you got the one side. And if you're away, you got the other side.
Yeah. It was a rough one for sure. Rough one in the sense that Roma hasn't been good. Like they've been actually terrible. So no real excuse for Lazio to not get something out of that game. And it's like 15 minutes that did them in. And then after that, they pretty much controlled it, but absolutely cannot score. Tati Castellanos gets a fuck you from me every single week. So might as well jump in with you on this one. I thought both teams to score was looking really good. I didn't take it, but I could see anybody who would be on an over for this game, even though like 10 of the last 11 have gone under. Definitely made sense to take an over in this game, and it should have come through, but didn't happen. So RIP anybody that took an over.
I'm going to be honest. I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw. So that's why I was like, oh, both teams score? Yeah, this gives me 1-1 vibes. And definitely. I took all the cards. The fact that Mancini didn't end with a card, I was fucking shocked with, by the way. I don't know what happened.
It's got to be the upset of the year.
Yeah, I
think it was like minus 120 to get a card.
Yeah, it was whatever. He fucked up my parlay. I'm very upset about it. My next one's Chelsea. I gave you guys the benefit of the doubt. Minus 110 for Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. I won't lie to you guys. Even if I got it again next week, I would still fall on that sword. And it was the fact that they started so hot because I took a Cole Palmer win cast. I was getting a great number on it. I'll take that chalk all day when you get it at plus 175. That's crazy to me. I should have just cashed out. Though, as I watched the second half, I'm just like, yeah, I should probably cash out. They don't look like they're going to put this game away, and it's going to end in a fucking draw if they don't score again. And then I drove to work, and then I checked the score again, and it was 1-1. And I've never been more upset with myself and just Chelsea. Handle fucking business. Whatever London derby bullshit you want to feed yourselves, Chelsea fans, enjoy that. It's 2025 now.
Yep.
Start the year right. You can't beat Palace now. It's getting to an embarrassing level. It really is, where you were going to be the challengers for Liverpool, but y'all are making second place look like it's going to be a battle.
The schedule was cake. I mean, this is like the stretch for Chelsea, right? They've overperformed to this point. They've started to kind of figure it out. Maybe the coach, Maresca, is actually pretty solid. And they go out and lay an absolute egg. And they do it like when everybody else faltered as well, right? It's not even like you just have to take care of business against Palace.
Make it look as bad is that everyone else also.
I think it makes it look worse. Like that's 2 points lost. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
But like, as a whole is falling off.
Yeah,
so I'll just keep pushing that narrative as well. With
2
all
points lost for sure.
My last one, and I really don't want to turn this into a tangent because it somehow will do that, and I'm glad Oaks isn't here for this, is VAR and Spanish refs. Mostly because I had Mbappe win cast, and they went back, and now Spanish officials are just like, wait, you didn't use the right frame in the VAR replay? And now they're going back, and now we have the VAR archive and all the different bullshit accounts drawing lines. And anytime you get into an argument about drawing a straight line, you got to feel stupid in it. But the fact that it's now headline news in Spain and the RFEF is now looking into it, that you used the wrong frame. And I always said that I'm the angry person on the couch going, how do we know you're using the right frame when it's zoomed in? Can we zoom out and see the whole play? I was always that angry person. And the fact that now you're getting caught doing it makes it just a little bit worse for me. Where it's like, I didn't want that to actually be true. I just wanted to yell about it. So, Spain, just what are we doing?
Yeah, and I'll add on to that. I don't think it's just Spain. I think like VAR in theory was a genius idea, and it hasn't been that way largely, right? There's no real clarity. There's no consistency from game to game. You don't really, I see it in Italy. I've seen it in England. Like there's 3, 4, 5 minutes of like referee at the TV, and you don't know what they're even reviewing in the first place. So definitely agree that it's just I don't know what the answer is, but something needs to be corrected.
I said this with Oaks before, as far as VAR goes. If we were to do it where, like, in the NFL, they're like, all right, we got to send it to New York. We need like one
decision room,
body of people that are going to be unbiased, won't get bribed by FIFA, UEFA, or some other entity, and we can be like, all right, decide what it is. So at least we know everybody's getting the same results. If it's corrupt to everybody the same way, whatever. I don't care how they do it. It can be shitty. Just make sure it's even. Like the fact that we have all these different rules for what a handball is, but then if it'll ruin a game or if it's a different agenda or if it's like the guy that in England getting in trouble for talking about how he hated Liverpool. How many fucking Liverpool games did this guy on? And he looked at the VAR, was like, nah, fuck that. Like, we just need one spot that's going to be unbiased, so we just send all that shit to. I don't know how you do it on a continent, but figure it out, other people.
I'm with you.
That's my only fix, is if we just get like 5 guys that I would be even happier if they just didn't even like soccer at all. They thought it was a stupid sport. They still called it soccer, but they knew the rules. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's this. Okay, no. Yeah, that's.
Got to get like accountants who like read the manual, and that's the way they go. Yeah.
All right. That's all I got. That's all my fuck yous. I hope everybody feels better. Nick, I hope you feel elated after that one.
Appreciate you.
All right. We're going to start it clean. Spanish Super Cup. Real Madrid versus Mallorca tomorrow. So I say the same thing every single year. Why don't we just send the youths? Let's send the academy players and just really troll, because we're playing a Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia. It's the biggest money grab of all time. The fact that they keep changing the rules so Real Madrid and Barcelona will somehow always play each other and look at another Clasico out of it, I also think is bullshit. I'll always say this: lose in the first round or win the whole fucking thing. There's no let's win the first game, go to the second and not win. Also, my other rule, don't lose to Barcelona. If we have to play them first, beat their ass. If we're playing a team like Mallorca, I'm completely fine losing this shit. Like, it'll be hard to look at because I fucking hate Mallorca as well. And, like, Vinny's going to be suspended for 2 games of La Liga anyway, so I know he's going to play, which means Mbappe's probably going to play, which means Jude's probably going to play, and they're going to go for the win. I'll take another trophy, but just the fact that we're just adding another Clasico into an already packed schedule makes me sick. All for money. It's a Spanish Super Cup that isn't even held in fucking Spain. I kind of think it's bullshit. That being said, both teams' score number looks fantastic. The both teams' score number, I think, is like -120, -115. I don't know if you noticed this. Real Madrid only has 2 actual defenders on their back line at all times. We have either Tchouaméni playing center back, who is a center mid. We've had Camavinga at left back. We have Lucas Vazquez, who is a right wing, playing right back. I expect whoever is playing down the left side of Mallorca to get plenty of opportunity, and they're going to be a bunch of cards in this game. But for the most part, I'm going to do both teams to score, and I'm going to make a bunch of sexy parlays. This is a Vinny game for me as well. I'm going to take him to score, assist, and to get a booking. I'll probably do it on BetUS. Shout out BetUS.
I dig it. I'm trying to remember a game where Real Madrid scored in the first half. I'm trying to remember a game where they didn't come from behind to have to get a result. So both teams have scored. Looks really, really good. This kind of screams to me like a Jude game. I feel like Jude is getting hot at the right moment, sitting at plus 275 to score. I think provided that he plays and that he starts the game, that's a little bit of a silly number for me. So that's kind of where I'm leaning, but definitely I'm not mad at you for looking at Vinny. I think Vinny score or assist is a good one. I think if you want to play his assist, it's plus 350.
Yep.
That's probably where I would go. But yeah, that's kind of what I like in this one. I'm definitely with you. I'm not going to mess around with a total, and I'm not going to lay the juice here, even though obviously I expect Real to win the game pretty easily.
Fede Valverde shot on target until it's not a plus sign. Also, my man his range is 40 yards and in. So at any point, if he gets 2 steps, he could be jacking for chicks, and I will continue to bet it.
No doubt.
All right, moving on to my bit. So, hold on. We'll see. Madrid money line with the money parlay piece on. Hey, you know what?
I agree.
Go for it.
Definitely agree. What's the deal with this tournament? Do they have extra time, or do they just go straight to kicks?
I think it goes straight to pens, or maybe just in the final it goes straight to pens. At one point, they do go just straight to pens, though, which is a bright spot, I guess, but also we're playing 2 extra games in Saudi Arabia in the middle of the season and Copa del Rey.
Hey, at least it's 140 degrees there.
Every 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a pain in the ass. It's always against teams I fucking hate, too. Like, I don't want to win. I don't care about winning this competition, but I fucking hate Mallorca, and I would hate to lose to them. I really do not like them at all. Yeah, that's all I got for this one. Moving on. Bit time. So I called this "But Can They Score?" because when I looked at the FA Cup matchups, they're all kind of shit. But then when you go to the both teams to score tab on DraftKings, if you have DK, it's a pretty fun time. I won't lie to you guys. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the FA Cup, the massive FA Cup slate, and pretty much we're going to look at like teams like Accrington that's playing Liverpool. But can they score? Plus 150, both teams to score. Do we think this Liverpool that we've watched the last 2 matches in an FA Cup where I can almost guarantee they will be rotating the squad, do we think they give up a goal?
Plus what?
Plus 150, both teams.
Yeah, at plus 150, we think they could. Liverpool gives up goals to everybody except for West Ham.
Except for West Ham. That's a big fact. So it's just, fun little game here, guys. FA Cup magic. You never know what's going to happen in the cup. You find a matchup like that. Let's go for another quick one here. We have Manchester City versus Salford City. That is the old, what is it? The class of 2018. Wait, what is it? It's not class of 98. Am I just making up years now? They won the triple.
I think you're making up slogans.
Nah, dude, that's Beckham and all them's team. That's Beckham, Scholesy, and Giggs. They bought Salford City. So it's Salford City versus Manchester City. And that both teams in the score is at plus 150 as well. Can they score?
Why not? Yeah, they can.
I'm pushing this magic of the cup.
Yeah, I dig it. Are they home? How many of these teams are at home? That really, if they're at home,
City's at home. Score. But Salford is. I won't want to compare Salford Stadium to Manchester City's, but I genuinely think that you might see more Salford City fans in there.
Okay, I definitely give me any of these teams at home to get a goal. Like they're going to be pumped the fuck up.
I also want to say that Salford City's on a 6-game winning streak, and they have 30 goals this season.
Okay,
so they can score. I just need one. In my head, when you get drawn to a team like Manchester City, it's essentially your Super Bowl. And anyone that gets to score a goal against them is just like, I can score against City, I can score against anyone type of deal. They might get a big head after it, but that's what I would be. I would be gunning for that kind of glory, for lack of a better word.
I dig it.
Next I got Reading versus Burnley. 2 championship sides. This is pretty much just, do I think Reading will get one? Reading is just another team. Every time I'll go to their stats, I'll just be like, all right, are they averaging over a goal a game? Bet, I'm in. 24 matches, you have 39 goals? Yeah, I'm in. I think you could score 1 against Burnley. Give me the both teams to score. Burnley, I feel bad for them. JJ Watt did this to them. I might have been mean, and right as he invested in them, right after they won the championship, I was like, I hope they immediately go back down and he just loses money on that investment. And they
Too
did.
many.
I feel bad about it now, but it's also funny that it happened. But there's still a good side. I still think that both teams to score in all these games are kind of crazy. I'll probably do a really stupid parlay and say who fucks this up and put it on Twitter, or X, the everything app. It's all happening on X, guys.
Round robin that shit, man. Hit 2 and make some money.
Another one I got for you is Chelsea versus Morecambe.
Yeah, they can score.
This is the only one where I was like, all right, we're getting a little bold with these. They aren't averaging a goal a game.
I'll give you the play.
What is it?
Morecambe plus 3.5 goals, minus 110. Do we think Chelsea is winning by 4? Now, I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I've seen Chelsea go to Europe, to other countries, and start 11 players I've never heard of and put up like 5 goals. So they could do it if it provided it's going to be that same type of team. But I don't know. Give me plus 3.5.
This is just one of those games where Chelsea will have like Yao Felix start and he'll somehow get a hat trick.
Okay.
And you'll be sweating your ass off that nobody scores another goal. Like,
man, like I just want to get to halftime down a goal and cash out.
I feel that. The only game that I'm not confident in both teams to score essentially for the FA Cup is the tomorrow game, and it's Everton versus Peterborough.
No, man,
and it's
Peterborough.
not me being confident in Everton. It's just that Pickford's been fucking standing on his head.
Yeah.
And I hate Pickford, but he's been balling and carrying that team to.
You need to go back and like reassess your thoughts about him because he's been really good for this terrible team for a long time.
No, I won't. If everybody gave up on De Gea, then fuck Pickford. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
About the League
If Peterborough was plus 2.5, I'd take them, but they're not. They're close, but they're not.
No. Fulham versus Watford.
Wait, but can they score? Beto. Can Beto score? Can he score?
No, but he's gonna work really hard.
Okay.
I definitely don't see him scoring though.
Okay.
This is a get right game for DLC.
Okay.
Or DCL. Sorry. I'm thinking of Call of Duty. My next one is Fulham versus Watford. It's plus 100. I had to take it.
Agree.
I watched too many of these games, and they both almost always score. Honestly, Watford usually gets the best of Fulham, and if I'm up money, I'll probably do something stupid with that also, but both teams to score with a plus sign next to it. It was split between plus 105 and plus 100. I'm here for that.
Okay.
And that was my last one. I already said Reading Burnley, right? Because then I'm good.
Yes.
All right. Can they score? That's it. That's what I ask myself every single time that I press like 5 of those games. But will they actually score a goal? All right, moving on. I got a couple Spanish games for you.
Give me some of these underdogs, dude. I don't care. Like if you're giving, I don't care who the teams are. I don't care that I don't even know them. If you're giving me 3.5 goals, if you're giving me 2.5 goals against a mediocre Prem team, I'm probably taking it.
I'll feel you on that one. Like if West Ham pretty much was playing any of these teams that weren't Aston Villa, that's where I would go with them.
No doubt. All right, sorry.
I mean, do you think Bristol beats Wolves somehow?
Anybody can beat Wolves. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair enough, actually. Sorry, Wolves fans. So I think VD is the only Wolves fan I know. Sorry, man. Feel better. He needs prayers right now, so prayers to VD. Moving on, we're going to the Spanish League. Es no fútbol, es la Liga. Real Vallecano versus Celta Vigo. Nick, how much do you know about Real Vallecano and Celta Vigo?
I know that both have played in La Liga for probably like 10 years now.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a very mediocre game. That's all you really
just screams need. Under to me. I like not knowing what the under is set at. If it's probably set at 2. But yeah.
Well, what makes it even worse and what's going to make it even harder to watch is the fact that Iago Aspas is injured until what is supposed to be February. So I definitely don't see him playing in this match. They also just drew Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey round of 16, which is going to be coming up, which is what I'm going to assume they're going to try to force him back for. Real Vallecano at home, I always like to give them a shout for their performances at home. I wouldn't mind both teams to score here, but this is going to be a tough watch for Spain. I do think this is probably going to be the most competitive match. This and our next match that we're going to talk about, which is also going to be really sad. Sevilla versus Valencia. What turned into this used to be like a classic La Liga match.
Top
There were
four.
legends everywhere. You'll
Top
still see
four.
that photo of David Silva, David Villa, and Pablo Torres standing over the free kick at Valencia and be like, wow, they had a team that was even this good. These are now two like relegation battle teams. And a lot of shit's happened to both financially, natural disasters in Valencia and all that's been going down. Ownership has been trash at both. This game is going to be absolutely trash. It's going to be a bloodbath. That being said, if I get the right referee, I'm going to bet an absurdly unhealthy amount of cards in this game. It's going to be a fucking great time. So if you get cards, this is the game that we're going to do it for. And once I figure out which ref it is, like if it's going to be Soto, the guy that was averaging almost 8 cards a game, I mean, you're gonna force my hand on some things. As far as the football goes, yeah,
I dig it. Spain's good for cards. Just give me the over every game. I don't even care who's playing. Don't even care who the ref is. But other than that, I mean, Valencia is just a dumpster fire, man. I don't even know what to say about them other than that. I'm trying to remember the last time they won a game.
Let's see. Well, I saw a Valencia fan after the Madrid game. Guys, there's stuff to be proud of here. Really? What was it? Was it the racist chance? Blowing a 1-0 lead when you were up a man? Losing at home? Which one? What was the positive? What do you got?
But, I mean, what am I going to do with Sevilla? Do we trust them?
Hold on. You're not rating Valencia enough. They just beat El Dense in the Copa del Rey in a very important match against a Division 2 side.
Yeah.
Huge win.
Yeah. So normally I'd see a game like this and I would say you have a much better team at home that's even money. I'm just going to take them. I don't care. Don't even care about the rest of the circumstances. I like the number. They're at home. Valencia's terrible. But do you trust Sevilla? I know Sevilla enough to know that I don't trust them. So proceed with a little bit of caution, but it seems like a straightforward win. I don't know.
I would be way more comfortable just taking the under in this game. Neither of these teams are really putting up any goals. Sevilla's been playing very well defensively at home. That's the only reason that I'm kind of with you where Sevilla should. I honestly think they should take it kind of comfortably. And by comfortably, I mean
1-0,
they
2-0.
have more possession, but only win 1-0.
Yeah.
But
I would almost take a correct score 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah, that's kind of where I would be at with it as well. Maybe Hugo Doro decides to randomly go off. He'll do that every 9 weeks. But he did just score against us last week, so I'm
he's good for the month.
Yeah, he's good for maybe 2 months. I'm with you though. Again, when I see both these names though, I just see blood. Last one I got for you. We got Real Sociedad versus Villarreal. Going to be a great kit game for me. I'm looking for the blue and white stripes and the big yellow submarine kits. Should be beautiful. That being said, both of these teams have had the most ass backwards form where I will never be on the right side of any of it. Real Sociedad at home, I do have a little bit more confidence in.
Yeah.
But it seems like Villarreal, when they feel like getting it together, it's against what I would call a top 6 side in Spain. As far as the EPL top 6 goes, Real Sociedad is one of the top dogs over here. Usually their football hasn't really been reflecting that this season too much. And I'm looking more at the both teams to score being minus 130, and I'm going to kind of flirt with that one and mess around rather than actually picking a side, but I would definitely lean Sociedad.
I tend to agree. Similar situation, right? Better team at home, good number. Let's not overthink it. That's kind of the way to go. I do a little bit of me wants to take an over here. If I'm going to take a stab at 1 over, this could be it. It's minus 110. If you can get over 2.25 at a decent number, I consider that as well. I definitely think there's at least 2 goals in this game. I'm going to push for 3. Just looking at the rest of the slate, I'm not really confident in anywhere else.
This game usually has a decent amount of goals in it too. I feel like both teams to score over 2.5 is hit in over like 6 or 7 times in the last 10 meetings. So there's usually goals in it. Villarreal and Real Sociedad are two clubs that seem to always find a guy that can get you like 15, 20 goals a season, and then he immediately leaves for an Italian or English team, and he doesn't do shit. It's actually hilarious, but it keeps happening. Again, beautiful kit game. That's the nicest thing I'll say about this game. I really hope you get your over too. As far as the history goes, I'm with you on it. As far as their form this year, it's really 50-50. I'll be really honest. Because if there is goals, there's going to be like 7, and you're going to get it easy, and you're not even going to be like, wow, I wish I laddered this. Or you're going to watch like a 1-1 game, and then somebody's going to miss a penalty kick, and you're just going to be staring at it at your ticket like, how the fuck did this possibly not hit? There is 19 shots and only 2 on target.
Seems to happen every time I take an over.
Yeah, heartbreakers. All right, moving on. We're going to Italy. Nick, main reason you're here. Paisan show now. So we got to start off strong. Lazio versus Como.
It's a must-win game for Lazio at home. They have a brutal schedule. They're in the middle of a brutal schedule. We talked about the unfortunate loss to Roma. It's absolutely a must-win. Como are a bottom 5 side. So I'm not going to overthink a number that they're giving me at minus 130. If they don't win this game, questions need to be asked. I mean, here's the silver lining. This is a team. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go on a super Lazio soapbox here. It's a team that is very deficient in many, many, many areas, and their early good form fooled a lot of people, including the owner. And that's because the owner is an idiot, and he's also really cheap. So he came out and is like, no, we have a perfect squad. We're in first place in the Europa League. We're not going to reinforce it in January. Quite possibly the dumbest thing you could fucking say. They haven't got a goal from a striker in like a month and a half. So maybe they don't get a result against Como, and it's a big wake-up call, and things need to happen. But they're going to be without Tati, so that's actually advantage Lazio. So I expect goals to come from the midfield, from the wingers. Got to get it done in this one. I think their team total is in play. Jacob with a really good shout. Nico Paz has been fucking outstanding. That dude is like the reason to watch Como. Everybody got excited about them because they brought in all these fucking old dudes that you heard of 5 years ago, and Fabregas is the coach and this and that. Nico Paz is the reason to watch this team. He is a future star. So spot on.
Real Madrid still has a buyback on Nico Paz. Honestly, wouldn't be mad if we activated it because I'm seeing way too much Danny Ceballos. The only thing I was going to ask you is both teams to scores at minus 115.
Yeah, I think that's playable in every single Lazio game, honestly. Until it doesn't. Overs too. I mean, they like just until they don't come in, play them.
I was pretty much just gonna. If you didn't say anything about Nico Paz, I was just gonna say both teams to score. And have you heard about Nico Paz and the lore of Nico Paz and how fantastic he is?
He's outstandingly talented. Dude, like right now, hold on. Just like, well, I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna get on it right now. Like Serie A right now is just crawling with like Real Madrid prospects that are nasty. That kid from Milan is fucking awesome. Jimenez, really good.
And you know what's even crazier is that my right back is Lucas Vazquez, and I play with one center back.
Like you're doing all this exchanging with Italian teams. Like, why don't you take one of our defenders? Like that's where we actually produce talent.
Somebody said Bastoni, and I was like, do I want to see my club pay 115 million for Bastoni,
who's not the healthiest?
Really, not really at all. Actually, I would rather give one of these 17-year-olds that look like Sergio Ramos another opportunity.
Dude, Nico Paz is plus 500 to score. I mean, I would throw a little bit on that.
Yo, Nico Paz's score assist has been so fucking lucrative, but Nico Paz shot on target is something I'll just blindly take all the time. I won't even check Como's lineups because if he's not in it, then I'm not paying attention to that fucking game anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. Udinese versus Atalanta. So I have a fun thing I do where I say somebody's the best team in Italy. It was Udinese for like 2.5 weeks. It was sick. Hey. But now, do we think that they can get a goal at home? Because I see Atalanta kind of pumping them, and I want to take an over because of it.
I had a parlay of like both teams to score in every Saturday game last week, and Italy and Udinese were the team that I think didn't come through. So fuck them. I forgot to give them a fuck you earlier.
Wait.
Can they get a goal? Yeah, they seem to score. They score a lot this year.
Yep.
Atalanta's defense is not that great, but I do expect a bounce back from them. So tough one. I'd be more comfortable like with Atalanta to get 2.5 goals themselves.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at it like a both team to score over 3.5, and I completely expect Atalanta to get me the 3. And it's just if Udinese actually wants to get the 1 at their own crib. Not to be disrespectful, Udinese, but like, can you?
Yeah.
Can you actually?
Don't know. Don't know.
Also, Lookman, I don't want to say that he should go to a better team because I just love what he does at Atalanta. It's the most fun to watch for me, for any attacking player right now, is watching what he does at Atalanta, when you can see it happening too, where he just loads up this backpack where he's like, all right, fuck it, guys. I thought I was resting this game, but sub me on. I'll get us one right before we're about to fucking lose and drop points or whatever. He just seems to throw that backpack on, and whether it's a goal or an assist, he always shows up, and I just absolutely love watching him. Shout out Nigeria. Super Eagles, we out here.
Even though he did shit in the Cup of Nations last year.
Yeah, that was a real bummer as far as rooting for Nigeria.
And having a future on them.
Yeah. You know what's even worse was if you were like thinking Osimhen was going to do Osimhen stuff.
Like, name a bigger drop-off in the last 5 years.
I don't know. I really like him, and I sell shirts with his face on it that looks like Batman. But yeah, you're kind of right. I'm waiting for it. There's going to be a turnaround. I think Jose Mourinho finds it. There's going to be that turnaround, and he'll come back to Italy for a worse team, but he'll still put up decent numbers. Like, he might go to Udinese in like 3 years.
I don't know, dude. He's injured every year.
I'd actually love him at Atalanta.
Maybe.
We'll just go full.
I mean, they got Zaniolo scoring fucking goals, so anything's possible.
He let me down significantly. Dude didn't even attempt a shot. I don't want to say he's dead to me, but he also is. He also celebrates against his old teams, and people are like, yeah, they deserve that. I was like, fuck this team hopping dick. This guy's a dickhead. This guy gets hurt wherever he goes, was one of the hottest touted young Italian talents, and has done fuck all with it. And then he's going to celebrate against the teams that gave him an opportunity after he fucked up a bunch of times. But hey, I don't hate him, though, I swear. Moving on, this should be another fun one. These are all just fun games for you, Nick. We got a Turin derby. Torino versus Juventus. Nick, say something nice about Juventus.
Never.
Okay. Unfortunately for Nick, Juventus does not lose this one. So no, I'm looking at Juventus minus 120, and I'm taking it. Absolutely. I'll probably do Juve money line under 2.5 to get a plus sign. And I can almost guarantee you it's going to be 2-0 or 1-0 Juventus.
If it wasn't so early in the year, I would make it my play of the year. But I would hate to do that in January. But yeah. That's how much I agree with you. There's no way this number should be minus 120. And here's the bonus. This is why I make bets like this. I did it with Roma earlier this year. If I make this a play of the year and Juve loses, coach probably gone. Like, Juve lost. You look like fucking dog shit. You're in 7th place, 8th place after that loss. You just didn't win a title, a trophy when you were leading a game to a pretty average Milan side. Like,
those are champion Milan.
Agree. No, and I love them. Hey, listen, you don't have to sell me on Milan, but then you have a schedule in front of you of like Napoli, Atalanta. Like, it's brutal. So I might make Juve a play of the year. Let's stay close on that.
All right. Do you do multiple play of the years, or are you just a one play of the year kind of guy?
I don't ever even do play of the years, and I just like, it's become a joke. And I did it with Roma a couple weeks back, and they fucking lost to.
It's a new year,
Lecce or somebody. I don't know.
Listen, it's a whole new year, man. That game didn't even happen. All right, last one I got for you: Bologna versus Roma. Nick, are Roma back?
They might be. I'd hate. They might be. It's possible. We can't rule it out.
I think they're on a 3-game win streak or 4-game win streak. Only allowed maybe 1 or 2 goals. Dybala's now scoring goals again. I see.
It's as back as they will ever be.
Yeah, I was about to say they're about to crack the top 10 in Serie A, I think. I'm looking at Roma on the draw no bet right now, and it's minus 130.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, agree.
Now, I don't want to disrespect Bologna at home. I know they got a decent record at home. That's hence the draw no bet. I think they've only lost once at home, which is pretty solid for Bologna, who lost their manager and one of their. I know they lost. Who else they lose besides Calafiori?
Xerxes.
Are we okay? And Xerxes.
I don't know if you count that as a loss or not, but yeah, that's who they lost. Ferguson's been hurt.
That's who it is. I was about to say, I was like, there's a midfielder that's not playing.
Yeah. No.
So, not the strongest Bologna side, and Roma's kind of on the turnaround. This looks like, to me, it looks like what I'm going to see when I'm looking at Roma's form in about 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, yeah, remember when they beat Bologna's ass? I think it's kind of clicking for Roma right now, and I think they're kind of going to abuse Bologna with that clicking.
I agree with you.
Still won't fucking score, though. Do not bet Delvik to score.
I agree. If you were ever going to take a stab with Roma, now's the time. I agree with that. Team total over 1.5 is plus 150. Granted, Bologna's defense has been pretty good. Over 2.5, if you want to get really silly, is plus 500. Just throwing it out there.
Real silly. But yeah, unfortunately, I think Roma might be back. And this also might be the worst kit game, depending which Roma kit we get.
Their kits have been terrible for years, but their fans will not admit that.
They have a couple classy ones in the white. I'll give them that.
Is that the one with
the sponsor?
Yeah, the Arab sponsors on it. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's not the best look for what's supposed to be the classic English or Italian look. So a little awkward there. Moving on, though. I do have 2 German games for you. They're going to both be fun games, too. We got a Friday game, Dortmund versus Leverkusen. First game of the year for both these guys. I would love to say both of them start the year strong, but for some reason, it looks like it's going to be a Dortmund choke job to me. I usually try to back Dortmund at home. It's usually when they're away that I don't back them. But there's just something when I look at both these predicted lineups just on paper and I do a FIFA simulation in my head watching dots go back and forth, I really just don't see Leverkusen losing this shit. I don't think they match up very well. The only person I really back on Dortmund is Adeyemi and Gittins. And half the time they don't start together. So you got a team in Dortmund that they were like, hey, you know what? Let's fix our problem with Gerassi. That's going to be the answer. So I don't really know which direction they're going under Sahin, but I know Xabi Alonso. I know how he's going to get the boys going again after Holiday. I watched him do it the last 2 years. I would be very surprised not to see Leverkusen get a result traveling to the Big Yellow Wall. And Florian Wirtz, I also think, is going to continue to just be one of the best footballers on the planet.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster. Schick has been really, really good for them for a couple years.
Schick happens.
Certainly does, especially if you forget to put shaving cream on.
Yep.
Minus 120, draw no bet. Leverkusen, I'm with you 100%, but I will take that extra protection there away from home.
Yeah, that being said, we just told you what really smart gamblers going to do. I'm going to take the money line, though. I'll be honest. If you're smart, though, draw no bet, great number. That's a safe play. But, again, I'm going to take that money line. Moving on. Last one I got for you guys. Gladbach versus Bayern Munich. So, this is probably a weird one to see. I'm sure Nick's confused why I chose this one. But for the last 10 years that I've been watching the Bundesliga, Gladbach always shows up against Bayern. Now, Bayern might also show up and beat the shit out of them, but I'm also a guy that'll take both teams to score in over 2.5 in almost whatever German match because I'll get a good number on it.
Oh, yeah.
Bayern Munich either gets beat somehow by Gladbach because Playa decides he's going to be the best striker in the world and that the French national team should relook at him randomly, maybe like 2-3 times a year, and it's always against Bayern Munich. I know Gladbach will get us one. And or Bayern beat the piss out of them, and it'll probably be like 3-1, 4-1. I'm leaning 3-1, 4-1. Gladbach has not really done shit this year to give anyone super confidence in them. Their offense is almost the exact same offense. Shout out Joe Scaley. Americans that play in the Bundesliga tend to be I'm really just looking at the Weston McKennie scale for this. And I'm thinking about how it didn't work out as well for everybody else. John Brooks. Yeah, Jeremy, you're not doing this too
R.I.P. John Brooks. I liked him.
I just know that Gladbach will get me one here, though. So
I agree.
It's either going to be Bayern Munich in tears because they absolutely shat the bed, or it'll probably be a 3-1, 4-1 Bayern Munich win.
No, it's a good shout. Gladbach at home to get a goal. I'm with you. Both teams
So
score.
Gladbach always has fire kids, so it's going to be a great kick game.
I dig it.
And is Harry Kane fully fit? What the fuck's wrong with Harry Kane?
Don't know.
I did see they just did a friendly, and my boss was like, "Yeah, what do you like today? Are there any games on already?" And I was like, "Well, Bayern's playing in a friendly against Salzburg, but you definitely can't bet it because Bayern put a full strength lineup in, and you can just take anyone you want for goals." They ended up winning that game 6-0. I think that was about 5 days ago. So yeah, they're kind of in the mood to score. It seems like not that Salzburg's the greatest talent pool, but I'd put them in Gladbach pretty even. All right. That was all the games we're going to talk about, guys. I have a new wheel. Now, this is a special wheel. I have a special guest with me. So instead of having Oaks is Wild, we have Nicky Clicky on the board.
I like it.
Spin Nicky Clicky. Nick just does your pick. That's it. It will count as half of a point, and it will be well documented that it was a Nick Golden Booty. But if somebody has 0.5 at the end of the year, it's because Nick did their pick. He also has to get it right. So, that's the battle here, guys. I'm also going to spin it for Nick because I'm a good sport. And I have a really good song with the wheel, guys? So
always.
All right, so here we go. I'm going first. Let's get it. No EPL.
Move with the rhythm. Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut.
Dude, I thought I was in Zara. I was like bumping.
That's what this music does to you, man. We just take you to a whole different place. That's the magic of the wheel. Well, part of me really wants to take somebody on Roma, but I will not. You won't catch me betting Dovbyk. In my head, I know he has 5 goals, but in my head, he has none. He hasn't even scored.
Fact.
That's how bad he has been. I'm actually just going to go Lookman. Straight the fuck up. I'm going Lookman. And if he doesn't start, I'll just be sad about it.
I like it.
All right, let me I hope you get Nicky Clicky. It would just be on point. So we got Oh!
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. Sing 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
Cut.
Wow. All right. The funny thing is that if you didn't get that, whatever you picked would have counted as a full point. Now it's only going to count as a half point.
That's hurtful.
Yeah.
We talked about it. It's potentially the game of the year. This guy only scores against bottom 10 sides. It's got to be Vlahovic.
Really?
Got to be.
Dusty.
And I hate him. There's nobody on the planet that hates him as much as I do. This is a game where he scores and everybody calms down for a couple of weeks. Like clockwork.
Did you see the De Gea save on him? Because that wasn't his fault. That was pretty much a goal.
I also saw a lot of wide open nets that he missed. So,
I saw a lot of rectangles that he just wasn't even fucking close to hitting. So, not that I had him in any parlays. I know better than to do that. But
this is a game where he scores and everybody quiets down for a little bit until he misses the net for the next 4 games.
Yeah, don't worry. They'll get upset again. They might even get a result, too. So they're going to be like, wow, Vlahovic scored in the derby. Wow. What is it, the Derby della Mole or whatever?
Yes.
All right, guys. Kick 'em standings. I got 15 for you. Really quickly, you're going to hear a lot of both teams to score for the first 10 of these. Madrid, Mallorca, both teams to score -125. Leverkusen, Toronto bet at Dortmund -125. Fulham, Watford, both teams to score +100. Liverpool, Accrington, both teams to score +155. Chelsea, Morecambe, both teams to score +140. Reading, Burnley, both teams to score -115. Man City, Salford City, both teams to score +150. Aston Villa, money line versus West Ham, -150. Lazio, Como, both teams to score -115. Nico Paz, shot on target. I didn't have the number, but Jacob said
-120.
I'm here for it.
Silly.
Juve, money line, -120. Roma, draw no bet at Bologna, -130. Vallecano, Celta Vigo, both teams to score -120. It's going to end 1-1, guys. Betis, money line at Valladolid, -120. Isco's back, and he started 2 games and has scored in both of them already, by the way. And they won both. And then I also have Leo Moneyline at Ox. I don't know. It looks like Oxcord, whatever that fucking name is. I know you just got promoted, and I'm taking Leo Moneyline at -105 because I think that I don't need to even learn your name because you're going to be back down. So,
I like it.
do you have your show to do tonight?
I do.
All right. Nick, feel free to plug yourself.
Appreciate you having me on. As always, like I said, it's the biggest upset in footy gambling that we both have a show on Wednesday, and sometimes people just can't tune into both. But appreciate you having me back. Wishing our boy Oaks a very speedy recovery if he's not frozen by now. Kicks and Picks podcast at Kicks Picks Pod. We will be on probably in about 10 minutes here on Twitter, on YouTube. Pretty much do similar thing, run through the slate in England and Italy every week. Champions League. We'll throw out any other big games that you have there. So find us on Twitter and on YouTube. Appreciate you.
All right, guys, you heard him there. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on X, the Everything app. If you're watching here, make sure you guys are following. You can follow us at TwoFootTalk. You follow me at A Young Leg. You follow Nick at Nick Dianni. Links are all in the description below. Yeah, I even got you a link, Nick. What's good?
Good man.
Yeah, taking care
Appreciate
of
you.
TFTdrip.com if you need any drip. It's going to look a lot like these type of things. Just look for
Badass.
dope shit. That's pretty much all I got for you. Nick, good luck on your show tonight. Make sure you guys tune in to Nick as well. Kicks and picks. Other than that, fuck what you heard. That's what you're hearing.
Hey, come on. I know the outro.
All right, I'll do it again.
Like a 20-time guest here. You think I know the outro?
Well, I don't like to rely on the guest for the outro. Otherwise, I'll stand there awkwardly for once it goes past 4 seconds, then it's real awkward.
Okay.
Once I go, fuck what you heard, and then we just sit here.
That's what you're hearing.
Yeah, see, then no. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for joining us. This is TwoFootTalk. We're out.